don't say anything to the people in front. They're afraid.
They're afraid of me. So.
No, why they are?
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله رب العالمين، نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه. من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، هو الأول والآخر، هو الظاهر والباطن، وهو بكل شيء عليم. ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمدًا عبد الله ورسوله، وصفيه من خلقه وحبيبه، إمام المرسلين وصفوة خلق الله والناس أجمعين. ورضي الله تبارك وتعالى عن الصحابة المكرمين وعن التابعين وتابع التابعين إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، عباد الله، اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون، واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا، واذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ كنتم أعداء فألف بين قلوبكم فأصبحتم بنعمته إخوانا. أما بعد, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. All praise are due to Allah, and we bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is his servant and messenger. Peace, blessings, and mercy of Allah be upon him, and upon the prophets before Prophet Muhammad, and the followers until the day of judgment. Dear brothers and sisters, this is my first khutbah in the new Islamic year 1445 from the Hijrah, of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When we talk about a new year in Islam, we're talking about a year that refers to the hijrah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Whenever we mention the word hijrah, we understand that this is the hijrah from Mecca to Medina, which is true. But was there any other attempt of other hijrahs beside that major hijrah from Mecca to Medina? The answer is yes. But let us say the importance of hijrah to us, to you and me. The majority of us are muhajirs, means migrators, came from another country. And migration is highly important in Islam. When I refer to migration of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, or a hijrah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I'm referring to a hijrah for the sake of Allah. Hijrah for the sake of Allah. And those who performed the hijrah with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam held the highest status in Islam. So hijrah is such a great title. And if you are muhajir, or your father was a muhajir and due to that you're here, you are son of a muhajir, you can achieve that title. But the difference is that they migrated for the sake of Allah, and all of us, I think, we migrated for the sake of the dunya. None of us, including myself, I did not come here to be an imam in America. You did not migrate here because you want to preserve your religion, you cannot practice it in your country. The great majority of us came here for either seeking wealth, better education, freedom, higher life standards, which is okay. And to the best of our ability, we all achieved what we have intended for. But you are getting the reward for your intention based to your achievement. You came for education and Allah enabled you to get a degree, that's your reward. You're not getting anything else. You came for money and you earned money and you become financially better, that's your reward. You came for freedom and now you enjoy better freedom, that's your reward. And this was declared in a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, narrated by Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, who he said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إنما الأعمال بالنيات وإنما لكل امرئ ما نوى فمن كانت هجرته إلى الله ورسوله فهجرته إلى الله ورسوله أي أجره على الله وعلى رسوله ومن كانت هجرته لدنيا يصيبها أو امرأة ينكحها فهجرته إلى ما هاجر إليه. This hadith is telling us about migration and the intention of migration and the reward of migration based on the intention. So Umar ibn Khattab narrated that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Indeed, deeds are by intention. For the sake of businesses or freedom or education or whatever was your intention. But there is a beautiful option that we still have. Can we switch that intention? Can we be migrators for the sake of Allah? Yes, indeed. You could switch it. How can I switch it? You don't have to give back your degree. You don't have to give back your store or whatever you earn as money. You can change your intention. I came for education to be a doctor, for example. I should become a doctor based to Islam. I should be a Muslim who is a doctor, not a doctor who by the chance is a Muslim. I can be an engineer, a Muslim who is an engineer, not an engineer who is a Muslim. I can be a Muslim who is a teacher. I can be a Muslim who is a businessman. Why I put the word Muslim in the beginning means that you're gonna run your life based to Islam. I'm a doctor who is a Muslim, or a Muslim who is a doctor, I don't want you to get confused, means I will fear Allah in my job. I'll charge the proper reward for my job. I will help to the best of my ability, seeking a reward from Allah. I will give a charity and a zakah out of my earning to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By that, I am switching my intention to be for the sake of Allah. If I'm a businessman, if I'm selling a product, I don't have to cheat, I have to be honest. I have to sell halal project. I have to earn reasonable profit. I have to pay out of that to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By doing that, I'm switching my business to run based to Islam. So my hijrah for business become a hijrah for Allah and hijrah for the business. I'm getting a reward from the dunya and I'm getting a reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we all have to change that. Whatever you have in your life worth nothing, the only thing that worth a lot is Islam. The thing that worth a lot is that you are a Muslim. The thing that worth a lot is that you have hope after this life, you are going to a better life to be in the Jannah, inshallah. So the most valuable thing you have is Islam. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, that Ra'sul Amr al-Islam. If you have a living animal, the head of that animal is Islam. Means if you cut the head, the animal is dead, is nothing. The rest of the animal worth nothing. That's why zero. I'm from Egypt, another zero. I speak Arabic, another zero. I'm handsome and beautiful, and another zero. And by the way, I'm a Muslim. One. You can read that big number, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, what? 1. Very small. I'm an engineer, another 0 in the front. I'm a handsome man, 0 in the front. I'm a kind man, 0 in the front. You can read that, what? 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Means when you base your life based to Islam, everything else you do, you are rewarded for it. You are rewarded for being anything after being a Muslim and running that thing based to Islam. When you go to your store in the morning and you are a Muslim, you are abiding by Islam, you are not selling in a store anything haram against Islam. You are not earning any money that Islam say do not earn it. Whatever you earn, you give the share of Islam out of it. Now you are running your business as a Muslim. And this is what we have to do. And this is the essence of the hijrah. To you as a muhajir, you are switching your intention from a muhajir for the sake of the dunya to a muhajir for the sake of the dunya and the sake of the akhirah. Now you are earning a reward from the dunya and you're earning a reward from the akhirah. And that is the essence of my talk to you today. How can we switch our life so we can earn? How can we switch our life so we can earn? You go to sleep at night, 8 hours. Before you sleep, before you close your eyes, if you devote that to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my sleep is for the sake of Allah. For example, I'll do a wudu, I'll make a dua, I'll go to sleep submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sleep for 8 hours a day, 1/3 of the day, 1/3 of your life. 20 hours of worship by having an intention that that sleep is for the sake of Allah. And if you die while you are asleep, you'll go to the Jannah, inshallah. So you can switch all your life. You go to your business 8 hours a day. If you are telling yourself, I'm not just abiding by the law, I'm abiding by the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. If the law allow me to do something that's haram, I'm not going to do it because my religion said not. So my work of 8 hours a day will be for the sake of Allah. So I'm working and I'm making a worship. 8 hours a day, another 1/3 of the day, 1/3 of your life. 20 years if you live 60 years. And so on and so forth. So this is how you become a muhajir for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we're lucky that we are muhajirs. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that hijrah is tough. Honestly, none of us love that hijrah. If you came here for finances, and if it happened that you were rich in your country, you will never seek migration. If you came for education, and the quality of that education is offered in your country, you will never come here to get it. If you came for freedom and you have more freedom in your country, you will never think to go and seek freedom somewhere else. So we came against our will. That's why Allah appreciates that hardship that we face. That's why He said, invest it for the sake of Allah, so you can get a reward for this dunya and another reward from Allah. You deserve it. You deserve it. It is a waste of life to just come here for money and you're gonna live and die. It's a waste of life to just come here for education. How many people have more education than you? And if you didn't have a goal beyond that education, you are a loser. You're gonna die one day. You're not gonna take any of your education with you. Education nowadays, it become like a source of good income. So, migration is very important. Did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam migrated in the first day of the first month? Did he migrate in the first day? No, he did not. Did he leave in the first day from Mecca to Medina? No, he did not. Did he arrive to Medina in the first day? Actually, he did not migrate in the first day of Al-Muharram. He migrated 2 months later than that day. But when the time came for writing the Islamic history, at the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, the word history, one of the names of the word history in Arabic means date. Every history has to relate to a date. And they were talking about a reference date to the history that we're going to write. When you want to write a history, as if you are documenting an event that took place, you have to mention the time. And the time has to relate to a date known to people. So some of the Sahaba suggested that we do the date from the birth of the Prophet. And others said, no, we do it from the day when the Prophet became a prophet. And others say, we do it from the date when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam migrated from Mecca to Medina. Finally, they chose in that date. So we use the year, not the month or the day. The year of the migration of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That's why when we say this event took place 2 years after the Hijrah, or 3 years before the Hijrah. So the Hijrah become the reference, the year of the Hijrah become the reference of our history. The reference date of our history is not a day, it's not a month, it's a year. So now we call it the year 1445 from the Hijrah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As I mentioned earlier, was there any other migration beside that migration? Yes, there was. There was 2 small migration, very minor ones. Before Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was permitted to allow Sahaba to migrate from Mecca to Medina, there was a migration. One, the first were same country, and it was closer to Eritrea than Ethiopia of today. And there was a king who was Christian, but he was fair king. And later on, that king accepted Islam. And he was the only one we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam performed Salat al-Janaza for the absent deceased was for that king. When he died in Ethiopia, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that fair king who used to be Christian accepted Islam, and he died, and Rasulullah asked the Sahaba to make Salat Janazah for the absent. We do Salat Janazah for the person who died and he is here, and also we can do it for someone who is absent. But the Muslim scholar said we do it for the absent if we are sure that absent no one performs Salat Janazah for. Someone died in the sea, in the forest, somewhere that we know that no one performs Salat Janazah, we can do for him if he is not there. Rasulullah did it for that king. His name is Najashi. The 10 people who migrated from Mecca to Ethiopia, there were 15 people. 10 men, 5 women. That will give you a hint here that the women were not just home. They were participating in the life of the Sahaba. 10 men, 5 women. Going for a hijrah. You know how hijrah it is? It is not like taking an airplane from Pakistan to United States. Hijrah, you are walking or riding a camel or a horse. You are going through desert and the sea as well. There are danger of the road. There are severity of the weather. There are risk of the life. For 5 women to take that chance and go, now we have to document that women were along with men in the hardest situations, migration. Those people, when they fled from Mecca, and the enemies were in Mecca, they could pursue these people and kill them all. And there were 5 women among the 10, among the 15, facing that danger and that risk. Come forward, please. Come forward. Please, please. Come forward. It's better than asking you for more money to purchase another place. Come forward. Come forward, please. And those people, the 15 people, they did not last in their migration for a long time. They came back in 3 months. Because the difference of the environment, difference of the language, very small minority cannot manage to stay for a long time. But they came back and met with Sahaba and explained to them how this place looked like, how the people are behaving, and a larger group get ready of 101 people got ready to go back to the same place. There were 83 men and 18 women. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was planning another migration for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ethiopia was not the proper migration, and it happened based on a human conclusion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He took that decision, he allowed the Sahaba to go, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was planning something much better for Rasulullah and for the Sahaba, which was the migration to Medina. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم. ادعوا الله لكم وكونوا من الإجابة. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters, there was a cause for that migration. Why does Sahaba have to migrate and leave their home? To Ethiopia? Because they really had hardship. They were not happy in Mecca. They cannot practice their religion. They suffered a lot. That's why they fled. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, while the Sahaba went to Ethiopia, he had a year. We call it in our Islamic history Am al-Huzn, the year of sadness and grief of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In that year, around the time of that hijrah, which is about maybe 7th year or 8th year after he became a prophet, like 4 or 5 years, maybe 3 years before the hijrah, the actual hijrah to Medina. There was a year, very bad year for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah at that time was married to Khadija, alayha salamullah. Was married to Khadija, the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The most honorable wife ever. The most honorable woman, Khadija, the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Aisha radiallahu anha mentioned about Khadija. She said, I never felt jealous of any of the wives of Rasulullah other than Khadija. Why? Because Rasulullah used to love her dearly. Even though you could marry 1 or 2 or even 10 at that time, at that environment, no one would say anything. In fact, people used to brag that they are married to so many women. Rasulullah married Khadija while he was 25 years old and she was 40 years old. At that time, that is an age of a mother to a child, because they used to get married too early. 12, 13, they used to get married and have a child. When she's 40, her child is 25. But that woman have qualifications, not like an average wife. That qualification will fit that sentence of that ayah that said, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed or described the good wife and the good husband to be like a garment. He said, your spouse is your garment. Means your wife is your garment and your husband is your garment. Why they chosen, or why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chosen that beautiful word, garment? You know how much money we spend to have a good garment? Garment, your clothes, prestige, quality, worth a lot. Your clothes say sometimes who you are. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants the wife to be like the garment of the man and the man to be like the garment of the wife. When you wear clothes, they have to be the exact fit. So the wife has to be the exact fit of the husband. The husband has to be the exact fit of the wife. Exact fit means the exact for her needs, exact for her satisfaction, exact for her honor. Likewise, the man to the woman. Exact fit. In the summer, we choose clothes that's light. So that garment have to be light in the summer. Have to be heavy and warm in the winter. Have to be exact size. Your garment give you protection. Likewise, your wife protect you and your husband protect you. Your garment give you a status. Your wife is your status and your husband is your status. So using that word, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ, when the man is the perfect libas for the woman and the woman is the perfect libas for the man, no man needs another wife and no woman needs to divorce from this husband to marry another one, because he is the best of the choice. Like you go to your closet and you pick the best that fits your need as a clothes for today's event. She's the best and you are the best, and no one wants better than the best. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he created Eve for Adam, he created Eve for Adam and said, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. The only man in this universe that needs or needed more than one woman was Adam alayhi salam. Because he was the only man in the whole earth. If Allah creates with him 100 women and told those 100 women that your life gonna be like this. You are 100 female, and we have one male who is Adam. He is your husband, and this is the way it is. The people will inherit that nature, and that's it. No woman will say, I have to be by myself. I have to be with 100 women. I'm okay with that, because this is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to be. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He needs to have few kids every year. But Adam have to wait to have a child, and his wife wait 9 months pregnant, then time to deliver, time to recover, then become pregnant again, and it took him forever to have few kids. If this man have 10 or 20, that's justifiable. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created a woman for him that fits that phrase of the ayah, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. Adam doesn't need another Eve, it's only one. And every man who becomes the quality of that ayah, his wife will never ask or seek or desire or think of another man. Likewise, a man who have a wife with that quality, he will never think of another woman. Khadija radiallahu anha, she was this kind. That's why even the environment and everything will allow Rasulullah to marry more than one. He was healthy, strong, and handsome, and wanted. But he never married anyone while he was with Khadija. None. She was more than enough for him. When Aisha radiallahu anha questioned him about Khadija, because she used to get tired of him mentioning Khadija, Khadija, Khadija. She told him, didn't Allah provide you with better than Khadija, that old woman? He said, no, no يا عائشة. خديجة صدقتني إذ كذبني الناس وآوتني إذ جفاني الناس. Khadija was the one who believed on me while everybody else doesn't. Khadija is the one who took me while everybody else neglected me. Khadija was the one supported me with everything that she had, wealth and power and family and everything. And he added to this, he said Khadija was a mother and a sister and a wife. When your wife have the quality of a mother, when you feel like your wife is your mother, when she have that quality of the love and compassion of a mother, the friendship of a sister, and the love of a wife, that kind of woman will be that woman, هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ. And the husband have to be the same thing. The wife have to feel like this husband is not just a loving husband. I see the compassionate and the love of my father in my husband. And I see the love and the support of my brother in my husband. And I see the love of the husband in my husband. When the man have that quality, when the woman have that quality, the verse will be real. هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. Inshallah, next week we will continue the subject of the hijrah and the relation of that hijrah to us. اللهم أعز الإسلام وانصر المسلمين واعلي بفضلك كلمتي الحق والدين. اللهم زدنا ولا تنقصنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم من أراد بالإسلام والمسلمين خيرا فوفقه يا رب العالمين، ومن أراد بالإسلام والمسلمين شرا فدمره وأهلكه يا رب العالمين. اللهم ولي أمورنا خيارنا ولا تولي أمورنا شرارنا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. اللهم احفظ واهد أبناءنا ونساءنا ورجالنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا هداة المهديين لا ضالين ولا مضلين يا رب العالمين. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم. اذكروا الله العظيم يذكركم واستغفروه يغفر لكم وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. استقيموا يرحمكم الله، ساووا صفوفكم، اخشعوا في صلاتكم وصلوا صلاة مودع. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. ربنا إننا سمعنا مناديا ينادي للإيمان أن آمنوا بربكم فآمنا ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.